Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Okay, it's Monday morning, afternoon, wherever you may be, all right? Breaking news, Karmelo Anthony's bond has been reduced coming out of Frisco, Texas. You know the story already, okay? I'm going to play some news coverage, and I'm a little bit concerned about the atmosphere that is being created by way of the courthouse reporters. In the second clip I'm going to play, someone asked about, the security of the judge and just, people, I guess, that are riled up. And that kind of bothered me. When have black people, for the most part, ever attacked judges? Not saying it hasn't happened, but I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to push a certain narrative already, okay? But anyway, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys may be. This is an early research edition. My headphones sound a little low. Deeds, are we okay? Let me just check and make sure everything is copacetic before we get into the show here, all right? And if you want to call in with regards to any updates, feel free to. And also in my community section, there's what appears to be a Karmelo Anthony doll. Did you guys see that? Troll babies. Did you see the doll? Now, I don't think it's really a doll for sale, but if it is, please send me a link so I can purchase a few, just for history's sake, okay? All right, also, showrunner Katy Perry and Gayle King, supposedly they went to space this morning. Now, I'm a very big science fiction guy. Most of you know that. A reader, film aficionado, if you will. So science fiction, space, and the stratosphere, and the atmosphere, and the Kuiper Belt. I'm very fascinated with all that stuff and the possibilities yet to come. Now, some people think that space doesn't exist, right? Some people say, no, it doesn't exist. I'm going to play a video with Katy Perry, and I'm a little thrown off. Katy Perry, the singer, by the way, in case you don't know. And it doesn't look like she trained properly, because you have to train to go into space. You can't just jump in a goddamn shuttle, blast off. I don't know. And it looked and I hate to say this, the launch didn't look real. The launch didn't look real. I don't know. I'll get to it shortly. But, okay, let's get down to business here. Karmelo Anthony's bond reduced in Frisco, Texas. And there's some things that I didn't know about this young man. He was a captain of his track team, okay? They're saying straight A student. So they really painted a picture about him that I just wasn't familiar with, all right? Let me get everything situated here. Here we go.
Within the last hour, a judge granted the request to lower the bond for a North Texas teen facing capital murder charges. 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony is accused of stabbing and killing another student at a track meet in Frisco. Anthony claims he acted in self-defense. Chris Sadeghi live from the courthouse in McKinney. And Chris, the judge heard from Anthony's family this morning before making her decision.
Yeah, Kara, this hearing just wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. In it, we heard from Karmelo Anthony's father. He testified about his son. And in the end, the judge did decide to lower the bond from $1 million to $250,000. Karmelo Anthony entered the courtroom handcuffed, wearing a yellow inmate jumpsuit. He spoke only to identify himself to the judge and stared straight forward while his father, Andrew Anthony, testified about how his son is the oldest of 4 siblings, a straight A student, active in his church, and worked 2 jobs while serving as captain of the football and track team. To this point, he's not had any criminal history. All factors his defense brought up when asking the judge to lower the bond. The amount they were asking for was $150,000. The prosecution, though, argued the bond should have stayed at $1 million, even asking Andrew Anthony about the online fundraiser that's raised $412,000 for his son's defense. Ultimately, though, the judge said the purpose of bond is not a punishment, but to ensure the defendant returns for his court dates and to protect the community. If Anthony does post the $250,000 bond, he will be on house arrest confined to his home with a leg monitor and cannot leave unless the court grants permission. Asked by Judge Angela Tucker if he understood the terms of the bond, Karmelo Anthony simply said yes. Austin Metcalf's family, the victim's family, was in the courtroom. It was a packed courtroom, not a seat to be had. And the judge did acknowledge the amount of scrutiny on this case, not only from the media, but the general public, pointing out that she's presided over many murder trials involving many different races, and that she has never seen the amount of security precautions having to be taken by deputies as what they're seeing in this case. Kara, back to you.
Okay, I just played video 1 with regards to the bond being reduced, Karmelo Anthony. Did you guys pay attention? They said he is, or maybe he was, since the stabbing, I don't know, captain of the football and track teams. So now, do you think that a captain who, you know, more than likely makes good judgment calls, you know, you can't just be nominated to be a captain by your peers and teammates. So we're chiming in. Many people are emotionally attached to this, and I'm going to say culturally attached. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're insensitive towards the other side unless you are prejudiced. If you're prejudiced, then you're not trying to hear nothing. You just feel that, oh, you know, it's cut and dry. It's not cut and dry. Many people have been saying, and they continuing to say, both families are suffering. Now, also, before I continue with the second video, I have not found anything with regards to Karmelo Anthony's family speaking outside of the courthouse. If anybody has that video, please send it to me right now, okay? I could not find that. Deeds is looking. So let me say that possibly, maybe that's a good thing, because a lot of times people need to just shut up, right or wrong. You're not trying to fight your case in the public. So that may be a smart strategy. So maybe there is nothing to necessarily see right now. Okay, let me play this second video. Hold on a second. Let me get it set up. And let's all please pay attention. This is an afternoon research edition, okay?
Good morning, everybody. There's not much I can say, but the judge. All right.
Can you come this
All right.
way?
Sure.
Okay, that's fine, right there.
All right. There's not much I can say. The judge has made the call, and so what's important is what's next. Frisco PD will be finishing up their investigation. They will submit the case to my office. We will review it and ultimately present it to a grand jury. And so that's what's next. That's really much. It's pretty much all I can say right now. We do our speaking in as far as the facts go in the courtroom. Many of you were in there, so you understand what was said. But this is a terrible tragedy for our entire, not just Frisco, but Collin County community. One family has suffered a permanent loss. It's the most unnatural thing for a parent to lose their child. It's permanent. It's profound. It's certainly premature. And it's the hardest thing that I think a human being can go through is to lose their child. The Anthony family has had a different kind of loss, but not a loss nonetheless. But the judge has made her call, and we look forward to continuing the process and looking forward to reviewing all the facts of the case that Frisco PD is coming up with and present it to a grand jury. What we're concerned about as prosecutors is justice, truth, and accountability. And so we will go where the facts lead us. Thank you so much.
Could you speak about the security and the vitriol and just the safety even for the judge and your office, sir?
I got to stop it right there. Did you hear that question? Can you speak to the vitriol and the security for the judge? Let me run that one back. I have to run that back.
And just the
Truth and accountability. And so we will go where the facts lead us. Thank you so much.
Could you speak about the security and the vitriol and just the safety even for the judge and your office, sir?
Well, this has definitely rocked our entire community. And so it has struck a nerve in the community. And it's hard for everybody to be level-headed at a time like this. So that's where we come in. It's our job to be level-headed, to be fact-based, and to follow the truth wherever it leads. Thank you so much.
And what did you Thank you.
I'm going to let this continue playing, but I just want to, throw some things, out at you, being a man of a certain age. If the judge was threatened, do you think it was by anybody black? I mean, let's be honest, I do not support tribalism, in case you're new to the show. This is not a black show, and I'm not a Democrat. I always have to let you know that. But culturally, I have been through some things. And many people, even if you're Caucasian, you have a cultural connection to some degree to this particular case. I just want to say that. Let's continue.
Yeah, that's the attorney.
We can't do this in here.
It's 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds? Okay. Good? Everybody good?
Every Texan has the right to defend themselves when they reasonably fear for their life. Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story. And Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He is the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
Mike, you took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so?
Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. In any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation.
Let me stop it right there. I'm sure that's Karmelo Anthony's legal team speaking. So that's what we have thus far. This is breaking news. I'm going to let this play through. Just pay attention. This is a research edition. Let's continue.
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. Funds, in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out. And then, there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is, why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying, this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out, and we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice, that let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Karmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
How ultimately you're feeling on the reduction of this bond? You feel it's fair?
Yeah, I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Karmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
What was Carmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you. And how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager? And is he on suicide watch or anything like that?
I honestly can't speak to Carmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and what was going on and what the judge was saying. I think we have to all remember Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process. And I can't even imagine what was going through his head, just as I'm sure I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So, this is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying.
So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience? I mean, you had to be really good.
I can't speak as to why I was selected. In any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with, that you feel has the right amount of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that that's important in any case.
Just how unsafe does this family feel? You mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to speak for them at this point, but I think you can imagine the press coverage on this case has been immense, and the online and public reaction has been immense. And unfortunately, as is common in our culture, especially lately, the vitriol and the public reaction one way or the other has been intense, and threats and talk of race war and all kinds of insanity isn't good for, obviously, the Anthony family. It's not good for the Metcalf family. It's not good for the peace and safety of our community. So I would ask, and I know both sides would ask, that the temperature on this be allowed to come down, that the media, you guys have a job to do, and I understand that everyone does, but at the same time, we just ask everyone in the public and everywhere to let this process play out fairly and fully for both sides. Thank you guys.
Okay, phone lines are open. Phone lines open. Before I get to the Katy Perry and Gayle King video. Oh, and there's a little snippet of Oprah. Oprah was there crying. Is Oprah hating because she didn't go up in space? All right. Katy Perry and Gayle King. And I think, Jeff, I'll just play and then we'll talk more before I say something that I'm not sure about. It was an all-female crew that supposedly went to space. Do I sound like a hater?
A bridled beast. This thing wants to take off.
Switch to onboard helium.
Here we go. Good luck and Godspeed, ladies. We're cheering you on from
Let's
planet
launch
Earth.
this
Thrust
rocket.
termination system is armed. T-minus 22 seconds and counting.
Team to the distant terminal.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, command engine start, 2, 1, ignition. Liftoff. New Shepard has cleared the tower.
Blue Origin.
6,000 feet climbing.
Area code 270. Sit tight. I see you in the queue. 270. Stay right there.
Engine response looks good.
Doing research in the afternoon.
To space, ladies, or shall I say, astronauts.
Oh, the moon! You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon. Look. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my God.
That's our
Okay, let's speed this up a little bit.
I love you,
Speed this up. Let's see the return. Hold on, everybody. Hold on.
At the top of the rocket, you see a couple of fins that have popped out. Those are to stabilize the rocket as it comes into land. Shortly thereafter, you will see the drag brakes that deploy that will cut the speed of the rocket in half. And then in the last moments,
and there it is. We can see it from the stage.
There comes the rocket down. It's going to relight its engine. We can also see a sonic boom. We're going to hear that shortly here.
And remember, this is something that had never been done before until just a few years ago. Truly the stuff of science fiction that you're about to watch in just seconds.
Drag brakes. Engine relight.
What do you guys think? Phone lines are open right now. Right now.
And booster touchdown. Welcome home, New Shepard.
Picture perfect landing right there.
Picture perfect landing.
Right on target.
You see that dust kind of creates this dramatic cloud that reveals the beautiful rocket that has just taken these ladies up to space and back.
And I love the echo across the mountains. Is that what I was hearing there?
That's what you were hearing. You hear this.
Okay, let's speed this up so we can get back to the show.
The drogue parachutes deploy from the crew capsule. Those are like the guide parachutes. There go the drogue parachutes.
Just free falling right there until those
Parachute just came out.
And then next will be
Gail
the
Ping
main
is fine.
parachutes that get pulled out.
Hear that screaming inside the capsule?
And all three parachutes reefing.
This is safe.
So just over our shoulder here, going to be landing north and east of the launch pad, coming down softly and beautifully. 500 feet.
We're almost done. Just sit tight. Sit tight.
And you will see a puff of smoke when it touches down. A puff of dust.
That should be, yes.
That's normal.
A puff of dust, last milliseconds. Air cushion that will kick up the dust. It's a very soft landing despite the sporty perception. There it is.
Welcome back to Earth.
Welcome back to Earth. Okay. Phone lines are open right now. Right now. Boy, did they go to space? Was it all staged? And I never say that, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. Area code 270. Please watch the language. It's too early in the afternoon for profanity. Are you there? 270. Yes, no, me?
Yeah. Shout out Star, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, sir, we don't do shout outs. Slow it down. Take your time. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Jay, Star.
Okay, who are you, sir, and where do you want to start?
Man, I want to start with the free mellow, man. FBA, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, they know what time it is. A 250 bond, that ain't nothing. You feel me?
Okay.
We're going to post that.
What state you calling from, sir? What state you calling from?
I'm out here in Kentucky right now.
Okay. I heard Melo's family is from Guyana. Are you sure he's FBA? I heard he was Guyanese.
Man, hell nah, it's FBA, man. Come on,
Well, sir, I've got a bunch of emails. Can you confirm by way of research? This is a research edition. I mean, with all due respect, you can't just call in and scream FBA. I was told, this young man, his family is from, Guyana.
Nah, Star, don't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? We trying to come together. You know what I mean? Like, what does it say about them lowering the bond? Why did they lower the bond? They know this young man is not. They trying to ruin this young man's life. It ain't about FDA. I understand where you coming from, Star, but come on, man.
I'm just asking a question. I don't know. I do research in the afternoons. I'm asking you. Did you do research? I'm asking, sir.
I didn't do my research. I got to stand up. I ain't do my research.
Okay. I appreciate you, man. Can you sit back and just let us, do some digging here? Pause. Let us do a little digging, all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Salute. Okay. All right. See, I like a caller like that off the rip, just screaming something out, but he's done no research. Let me look in the live chat real quick. Guys, has anybody else heard that Karmelo Anthony is a Guyanese? Are they just screaming FBA? Area code 678, are you there? Good afternoon. Please watch the language.
Yo.
678.
Yes, sir. What up, Star?
Hey,
What's
man.
good? What's popping, brother?
How are you, sir? Where do you want to start?
Well, I'm going to start with this, right? So they want to pull out all these narratives and all this BS about him being Guyanese and all that. That don't matter. This is what matter, right? So I did some digging in my own research and found out that the father of Austin Metcalf, the two twins, he was arrested back in 07 for SA.
Mm-hmm.
So
sexual assault, sir. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of white people. Say it, man. Say sexual assault, man.
No. I just don't want your show to get flagged. So I say SA. We know what that is, right? You know what SA is, right?
Come on.
So prior to that situation, right? So that's when the wife immediately moved out of the house. Now I'm trying to think. I'm thinking okay, maybe we have to shift the blame on the father of Austin Metcalf for the reason why they was raised that way and why he was in their life, because the mother left him after the SA, and he got charged for the SA. And at the same time, it's a good thing that the bond got reduced, because a lot of the truth's coming out, and all of the narratives and false statements that the white supremacists are putting out are completely landsliding and falling down a mountain, a molehill that they made.
Okay.
So, and we can say this, right? We know for a fact that Carmelo Anthony, he was supposed to be underneath that tent. It was raining. He got permission. It's a track meet. He was there for track. He runs track. But the Metcalf brothers, they don't run track. They're on a football team, but it's a track meet. Okay. Why are they there?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the narrative that these white supremacists like Megan Kokozoid Kelly is stating.
If I can jump in for a second, sir, and ask you a question. What about the black coons who are white supremacists, and they are online using all sorts of fake AVI profile pictures, and they're doing the most? What about those people? Because yes, more than likely white people feel culturally connected to the Metcalf brothers, to the Metcalf family, and so on and so forth. But what about the black coons who are trolls and all sorts of bots? What about them?
Yeah. I'm getting into them, like the black, I call them black Kokozoids, like number 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's
not on the line, sir. Please let me take shots at him. Don't you take shots at him. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, got you. All right, but yeah, they are the worst. Like I always tell people, the Boule Society and Christianity religion, it was the worst thing that happened to so-called black people. You know what I'm saying? some of our growth as far as who we are and who we're supposed to be spiritually.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then
So I got to pick up the pace, man. I appreciate you, but please keep me posted with any updates and new information. You've got my email address. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Rob Lowe, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. He says, okay, let me put that on the screen. He's talking about this attempt to bring feminism to outer space is cap. Okay. Here we go. Area code 480. Please watch the language. Are you there? On a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, peace, Brother Star. This is Brother Khalid out here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay. Sir, please don't call me brother, please. Please, that offends me. You should know that, right?
True indeed. Okay. Point taken.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. So anyway, with the rocket launching, I do believe that was real. However, I do believe that they just only went to the stratosphere level, which is basically the last layer that separates space from Earth's, ozone layer. Okay. But in terms of actually going into space with that quick of a turnaround, absolutely not. That was a jack fake right there, indeed. Right. But yeah, stratosphere, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? And I just land my plane right there, my mellow, my man.
Stay there because okay. I always want people to do research and have an understanding, as best as they can. And when some people say space isn't real, I don't argue with them. But did these all-female, crew, did they go out of space? No.
Absolutely not. No, sir. No, sir. And I mean, think about it, because listen, if you take it back to take it back to the earlier NASA launchings, right? Which is approximately around the same speed, give or take a couple of seconds. Right. But if you look at how much time it took for that capsule to come back into the Earth's atmosphere, and also you could tell by the construction of that particular craft, and this is just my nerd side coming out, that thing was not equipped for that type of heat compression to come back into the atmospheric pressure of the planet Earth. So yeah, man, big ass jack fake right there, bro. Yeah, I said ass. I'm sorry, brother. No, okay. I mean, okay. I'm sorry, my mellow.
It's okay.
I'm messing up.
I appreciate the call, man. Have a great one. Thank you.
Okay, you too.
Yes, peace. Sir. Okay, peace. Brandon L. What is Brandon L saying? Very believable. Salute. Okay. Hey. Thank you for your donation, sir. And hey, Lucky Star 772 got your donation. Thank you. Marcus B, I got your donation as well. I'm gonna try my best to get your donations on the screen, guys, but I want to do as much research here as possible. Okay, let me go to area code 860. Hey there. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. Are you ready? 860.
Hey, Star, that video was faker than the lace front. It's faker than the lace front.
Let's go.
Man, that video looked crazy. Soon as it broke off, man, that video was fake. Super fake.
Gail King. Yeah. Could Gail King go 3 times the faster than speed, 2,300 miles per hour? I just said, whoa.
Nah, I don't think so. Very, very unlikely. I think every piece of a bone probably would have broke off at that speed. I don't think so. Gail King, with her old behind, I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Any thoughts on the bail reduction for Karmelo Anthony, sir? More than likely he's.
Yeah, I'm happy for the young man. I'm happy for the young man. I'm glad that they did that. It could be hard in them type of states, some red states and stuff. So, it looks like, hearing that he was the captain of the team. I was actually the captain of my baseball team in high school and stuff. And you're right, to have that title and that type of position. Yeah, you got to be a certain type of individual, So I'm happy for the kid. I hope that he makes it out of this.
Yeah, people have to, from what I know, vote for you or vouch for you in some kind of way. I mean, I never reached that type of status, but people have to co-sign you, if you will. Yes.
Absolutely. You have to believe in you. You have to be a certain type of breed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
All right, Star, that's all I wanted to say, man. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let me go to PayPal. Oh my goodness, Deez, did I put the Streamlabs and PayPal information at the top of the live chat? I always forget to do that. 1051 fam, I got your PayPal donation. Thank you, sir. Hey, Lydia, good to hear from you. Yes, early afternoon research. I had a great weekend. I powered down and I had a little, I don't want to say a situation, but something I may or may not want to talk about a little bit later. Damien, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in, sir. Okay, he says thank you for the early shows. Yeah, man, we do early shows when I have to like comb through a lot of stuff. I have another video that I got to play. Holy smokes. It has to do with the tariffs and the possibility that the prices of wigs and lace fronts and something called K. Ladies, anybody in there? What is the new stuff called K something in terms of their hair? I forgot the terminology. K something, and the prices are going to go up on this stuff. Okay, let me go right to this particular video right now, and I'll just get to it. Peace, Shazam. Good to hear from you, sir. Okay, and a couple of people are asking me about. Yeah, I'm up to speed on the governor's home being bombed in Pennsylvania. Are they gonna black person? Okay, let me get right to this. Beauty supply store owners say tariffs will affect wig, hair, and extension prices. Oh my goodness. We're about to see some brawling and shooting and fighting. If that happens, brawling, shooting, and fighting. Here we go. Everybody just pay attention. This is in Atlanta, this particular video, in case you don't know.
One of the things affected by the tariff tension, the cost of wigs and hair extensions. China's the largest exporter of all that stuff. Channel 2's Tom Regan continues our Team 2 coverage now in DeKalb County with why some wigs could cost 50% more.
Here at My Beauty Unlimited, they sell hundreds of different wigs and hair extensions. Most all of it comes from China. And with those steep tariffs in place, changing your look with a wig could cost you more.
I really like the curly wigs because summer is coming.
The last few weeks have been a little hair-raising for Maureen Yancey, owner of My Beauty Unlimited.
If these tariffs are being implemented, it's affecting supply chain, negatively, adversely affecting supply chain, and it's affecting how customers buy.
She stocks hundreds of synthetic and real hair wigs and extensions. She told me she can't accurately predict how much the 3-digit tariff on Chinese-made products will affect her prices, but she estimates lower-priced synthetic wigs will rise around 25 to 30%. Higher-end wigs may cost even more. A $400 wig, for example, may jump to $500, but again, that's just a guess.
It's a recession-proof industry, so people are going to buy beauty products, hair, wigs, chemical products. So, yeah, they're going to have to pay, unfortunately.
She told me she doesn't want to pass price hikes on to her customers, but not doing so could put her out of business.
Things are going to go up. Supplies are going to go up. It's all not great. And then small businesses, you have to think about, we're trying to keep small businesses here. What can we do? Everything is going up.
It's going to be tough. I mean, I'm going to have to, see, what the effect is and then, explore my options.
Maureen says the options she's exploring includes buying wigs and hair extensions from other manufacturers in lesser tax countries like India, Cambodia, and Vietnam. In DeKalb County, Tucker, Tom Regan, Channel 2 Action News.
Okay, I can't find the video I was looking for. It's some new type of heat. They use the heat with the hair. It's something K, and it's supposedly this is expensive as hell. Nobody knows? Let me bring in a call, and maybe somebody else will be able to assist me with this. Area code 646. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. 646. Yes, no.
Hello?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hello, am I on the line?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Yes. How you doing, Star? Good afternoon.
I'm good, sir.
My thing is that people are quick just because he's black to say that he was innocent. He actually did kill somebody, and it was premeditated. So it doesn't matter if he was the captain of the track team, if everybody vouched for him, he did something wrong.
Okay, so you're ruling out self-defense, even though in Texas you can carry knives, and the laws are similar to Florida. Stand your ground. You're saying you said premeditated. Come on.
Yeah, because when he said, "If you touch me again," right there, he premeditated to do something to him. If he wouldn't have said that, I would have said probably self-defense. But at the moment you tell him, "Touch me again," what does that entail? What do you think he's telling him?
Sir, did he say touch me again, or did he say if you touch me?
No, he said touch me again.
Again?
Like, see what happens.
Okay.
Yes.
So he Austin touched him one time. According to multiple reports, he grabbed him.
Right.
So he didn't have the right to issue a warning?
Do you have the right to issue a warning before you kill somebody? I mean, he didn't have a weapon on him.
I'm letting you speak. Come on, I'm letting you speak.
Yeah, he didn't have a weapon on him. I mean, he was no threat to him. So I don't see why people making excuses. I get it. I mean, he's black, so they're like, the white people, they get over anything. But he was wrong. Bottom line was he was wrong.
Okay.
I don't hope he gets the death sentence or electric chair or anything like that. But he was wrong.
I appreciate the call. Do you want to comment on Gayle King and Katy Perry going into space?
No, I'm going to stay away from that one. Thank you.
No, sir. I need you. Come on. You saw the video. This is an all-female, staff.
I think it was a feminist power movement. Let's go up into space. Even the announcer, the countdown lady, whatever, was a female. It was just bad all around. It doesn't do anything for me. So what? Even if they did go up there, I wouldn't care.
How did the female announcer know everything that was going to happen at a certain time? She knew when the capsule was going to disengage from the rest of the craft. She knew when it was going to come back down and make the sound.
Yeah, the sonic boom. It was well versed. Sounds like it was a script.
Oh my God.
Thanks a lot, Star.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, I let him speak. Oh my goodness. Guys, sit down on the phones. I got a few more videos I want to play. I am determined to figure out. No, it's not. Thank you. No, Deeds. It's something with the way they glue the hair. Nobody knows this. How does a 60-year-old man know about this new terminology? And some of you females not know. It's not the straightening. It's something that they do. They glue this expensive hair. It's a new process. It's called K something. The hell? Alex, you got your donation. The easiest population to sell to is black women. They will prioritize paying for wigs, nails, over phone /car bill. Listen, Alex, thank you for your donation. No, man, in the Atlanta metro area, they're going to be stealing, fighting, shooting, getting those hair, the lace fronts. They're going to be walking out of the goddamn beauty supply places with that stuff and brawling. And it's going to be great content for us. Area code 210. Good afternoon. Please watch your language. Are you there? 210?
Yes, I'm here. I was just going to comment on the Karmelo.
Okay. Can you fix the, you're on some type of speakerphone? I want to hear what you're saying, sir. Please.
Yeah. Can you hear me a little bit better?
Yes, sir. There you go. Where do you want to start?
Okay. Yeah. People like the last caller, I know we can always speak based upon the facts that we have. Yeah, it's things that we call, it's justifiable homicides. People die in car accidents and things like that all the time. Right. You don't just automatically, raise and give them $1 million bond. And then you got things like self-defense. People fail to realize, they think that this guy was at a school, you can't have a knife and all that. Even if you look at the event that they was at, first of all, it's a venue. It's a venue. It's just a stadium. Matter of fact, they're going to have a concert out there. Yeah, he actually could have had a knife out there. I'm sorry he had it. And at the end of the day, thank God he did have a weapon to protect himself. He wasn't.
I'm sorry, sir. Stay right there. Yes, Deeds. K-tips. K-tips. If anyone has a video on K-tips and how this expensive-ass process works for, I would assume, for mainly black women, please send me the goddamn video. I'm sorry, sir. Back to you. You were saying?
Okay. Yeah. No, I was saying, it was actually a venue that they were at. It's not a school grounds and things like that. They just leased it and rented it out. Charging for having a knife, if that's what you want to do. But he wasn't against one person. And if you know twins, they do things together. So he wasn't going against one.
Stop right there. Run it back. Run it back. Twins, what now? Say that again.
Yeah, twins they're not one person. They're two. They think alike. They do things alike.
Right.
So he wasn't going against one 200-pound kid. He was going against two. And the guy might have been maybe 130, 140 pounds. So yeah, he in this case, under the stand your ground law, for one, he would have been definitely within his rights to actually defend himself with deadly force. And worst case scenario, it would be involuntary manslaughter. And your reputation does have, it would stand for it. He's not a violent guy. He's always gotten in trouble. So that's going to get him up. The guy's not going to do no time, just like they had to reduce his bond because that was unreasonable. And it's going to go down even more. He's going to come home. Well, we already know he's come home. They're going to let him monitor. And that whole distraction of he's from Kenya, it doesn't matter where he's from. Yeah. And I don't know.
I heard his family is Guyanese, from Guyana.
Guyanese, yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't even matter. Last time I heard he was from Louisiana and he went to Texas. People, immigrants and people like that, they change their name. I don't know too many Guyanese that want to be an Anthony, but,
Sir, stay with me. I like how you're flowing. Stay with me. Now, let me just say early, I'm capping. I didn't hear that he's Guyanese. I just wanted to throw some shit in the game.
Okay. Oh, okay. I figured it was.
Because too many FBA supporters who don't do research, they don't even like to read. They just scream at FBA. So I didn't hear anything about him being Guyanese. I just, I'm on one early. But you were saying, go ahead.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you on that. But yeah, I know people that FBA stuff, they try to go overboard with that. But I feel you on that. I'm gonna land my plane there, man. I love them early shows because people can't cut up.
Right. I appreciate you, man.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you, Deeds. K-tips. What the hell are K-tips? And Deeds, how much does that stuff cost? Let me go to area code 702. Hey, are you calling in from Las Vegas? Good afternoon, 702.
Good afternoon, Star. This is Ramon calling from Las Vegas. How are you?
Hey, man, how are you? Doing a little research, but please watch the language. Go ahead.
Of course. Just to clear something up, the definition of premeditated is action, especially a crime, thought out or planned beforehand. Giving somebody a warning.
Sir, it sounds kind of loud in the background. Can you make the adjustments, please, so we can hear you?
Yeah, sorry about that. So warning somebody that you're going to do something isn't premeditated.
Right.
Premeditated is something that you thought out and planned.
Right.
You can't plan. So
I let him speak, though. I let him speak. But go ahead. You're right.
Yeah. So, I just noticed a little soft racism in the guy's whole vibe. So I just wanted to, point that out. A black person does something, all of a sudden it's he needs to take 5 different steps before he's allowed to react and protect himself.
Right.
And you pick up on people. Oh, I get it. You black people just, you want to support him. No, we want to support what's right. We're about justice. It's not about supporting every black person, every supposed FBA person, and allowing them to do what the white man does. It's about justice and, the ability to protect yourself. I just wanted to, point that out.
Yeah, well, listen, I've already said that, people, for the most part, are going to connect to this tragedy by way of cultural connections, So I understand, not that I condone his actions. I want the truth to come out. You know, I want the truth to come out. But I have seen from my experience, and I don't mean to keep saying this, you know, I have experienced young Caucasian males and how they can be very dismissive. Get out of here. You don't belong here. And then they'll come up on you. Now, that's a time long gone, right? Long, right. The 70s. Today's generation, I'm not sure how you are. They're not running. They're not with the whole slow singing and flower bringing. They're not doing that. Go ahead.
No, I'm 44 years old, so I'm right in the middle. You know, I have that, you know, the ability to experience both and understand both perspectives.
Right. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Would you care to comment on Katy Perry and Gayle King going into outer space? Did you see the video?
More distractions. Doesn't mean anything.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, my goodness. Benny Blanco, I got your donation. Thank you, sir. Gayle made history. First wig in zero gravity. Oh, I like that. Hey, Tiffany. Tiffany says hair fusions or K-tips has been around for over a decade. The process used to cost up to $3,000 and now can range from, $500 to $1,000, 3 to 6 hours. Oh, my God. Tiffany, do you want to cam up or call in? You're always welcome. I wouldn't know. I've never paid for somebody's mani and pedi. A girl, I mean, I don't want to go too far into this, but I just see these prices, and by way of the tariffs, because most of that stuff comes from China, it's going to be a war at these beauty supply places. Thank you, Tiffany. Okay, someone else sent me something here. What is this? Something else about K-tips. Okay. Thank you so much. Good God Almighty. Area code 443. Are you there? Good afternoon. Please watch the language. 443.
Hey, what's up, Sarge? Jew from Columbia.
Hey, man, you're on a headset, sir. We can't hear you. It's too noisy.
I'm back.
There you go. How are you?
Yeah, so you were talking. I'm doing pretty good, bro.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
You were talking about. I'm an aerospace engineer in the DMV area.
Okay.
You were talking about. It sounded like a script. It actually is a script. We have something called launch scripts, and all that is programmed in the satellites. And when they're announcing second stage separation, first stage separation of the booster, all that is timed and it comes from the satellite. So it actually is a script. That's why it sounded like a script. So I just want to let you guys know, yeah. So it's definitely real, but it is a script. It's just programmed.
Well, listen, I'm a big sci-fi, lover because I want to see the possibilities yet to come. I mean, I've even, explored cryogenics so that I can possibly freeze my body and then be woken up in 20,000 years. So I'm all with it. But I looked at the goddamn video and I said, it doesn't look real.
Yeah. My man, somebody said the first wig in zero gravity. Man, y'all wild, man. Oh shoot, that's crazy.
But let me just say this. I am not a student of perpetual doubt. I do believe that mankind went to the moon. I believe that. How about yourself?
I think so. I think we did hit the moon.
Yeah.
But we had the interest to go back. They went up there and saw really there's no use, can't make any money out there.
Yeah.
So we haven't gone back.
Right.
We haven't gone back.
Yeah.
Just to speak on Karmelo Anthony.
Hang on a second. No, I need you. You said you are an engineer. Say that again. What's your field?
Yeah, my aerospace, satellite aerospace. I launch satellites and work on satellites.
Nice. I salute you for going to the institutions of learning and acquiring that knowledge. Is it plausible that someone like Gayle King at her age could go that speed? What was the speed again? Mark what?
It was 3 times the speed of sound. I'm assuming she did some type of medical treatment, physical, before heading into space or body. So they tested to make sure her body. and she can take her body can take the pounder.
Gail.
Pause.
How old is Gail King? Listen, man, there's times, okay, Gail King, she's 70, sir.
60.
No,
70,
sir.
70.
She was born in 1954. Listen, you know my age, but there's times when I got to go lay my dumb ass down because I have overexerted myself, combined with the sun. I have to make sure that my breathing is okay. I have to drink some water so that my oxygen levels and all that sort of fly stuff. But come on, you give us the knowledge, your insight, your expertise. Could a 70-year-old go that fast? A 70-year-old?
She can if they did the analysis. They do some type of physical before she goes up. Make sure she's good. She's strapped down the inside of that cap, so it's very insulated to protect everybody inside from all the air pressure. And so you don't really feel that pressure inside the capsule because it's so well insulated with the materials they use. So,
well, I hear you.
It's crazy.
I have a speed, distance, time calculator here. I don't know all that stuff just off the top of my head, but I don't know. I think it's a bit much. Why did they pick Katy Perry? What's
for clout? Just clout. That's all it's clout. Why do they even go up there for? Clout. What do they do?
Yeah.
It's clout.
Yeah.
Clicks. They don't know what they're doing.
Can you give us the background on this Blue Origin? What is that about? Blue Origin?
I'm assuming it's a startup aerospace engineering firm like SpaceX, but just smaller, that produces rockets that launch satellites. Okay. So the rocket is just what puts the satellite up there. A lot of times we see these space launches. The rocket is just what is the carrier of the satellite. Mm-hmm. On the nose of the rocket is where the actual spacecraft resides, and it gets up there, and then all the other parts separate from it and just leaves the satellite in space.
Yeah, it's an American space technology company headquartered in Kent, Washington.
Okay. I wonder if they're publicly traded. Some stock.
Probably not. I'm looking at Jeff Bezos.
It might be a good investment.
Yeah, founded in Blue Origin is owned by Jeff Bezos, the founder, of course, Amazon. Established. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research, but when I saw this, I said Katy Perry and Gail King. I said, come on. But anyway, hey man, you want to speak on Karmelo Anthony's bail reduction?
Yeah. So I saw the bail reduction. My view on it is that we got to start not letting man trick us out our freedom, man. I just don't. I think the young man overreacted, man. I think he overreacted, and we have a lot of problems with that in our community, overreacting to things. And it just happened to be a white guy. We overreact. We're talking to each other. You stepped in my shoes, or why you looking at me crazy? Mm-hmm. We got a problem with that, and even in our community, he just happened to be white. It could have been a nigga, and I think he would have stabbed him because we're just emotional like that sometimes. If you're not raised right, you know what I mean. So
hang on, stay with me. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and to some degree, I can even say that I'm a little tired of young black teens, male and female, being overly contentious and aggressive. I'm saying that.
Exactly.
But in this case, this guy was a captain of the track and field and the football team. So he's used to making the right decisions, not just on his behalf, but on behalf of others. That speaks volumes to me. So I'm willing to say this, that I think that he had no choice but to neutralize the situation. Neutralize.
I think right. I think that also, even if he's captain of the football team, captain of the track team, he could still be wild, man. They hide a lot from their parents and stuff. He can still be a wild dude. He can be all that and still be a wild dude.
You're right.
That's all.
Stay with me. You sound like a very knowledgeable man. Did you go to school with whites, Caucasians?
I went to a HBCU. I studied electrical engineering at HBCU.
Okay. And
that's what I saw.
The predominantly white schools are PWIs. Isn't that what they call them? Predominantly white institutions. Well, listen.
I got my graduate. I got my graduate from PWI, but I got my undergrad from HBCU.
Okay, so now you would know, and others, that these white guys, when they're in high school, middle school, and high school, a lot of them are wrestlers. Wrestlers. And
I wrestled too a little bit now. A little aggressive.
But the white boys, if they grab you, game over. Game over. You know? And
it's a wrap.
In Carmelo's mind, he may have said, he grabbed me once. I can't let him grab me again, or else I'm finished. Go ahead, land your plane.
That's all, man. Hey, man, just want to say that, again, we got to start controlling our emotions, not being so emotional. He could have put hands on them and got everything squared away. But we gotta manage our emotions, man. We gotta be there. We gotta manage our emotions for the kids.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, salute.
Thank you. Yes, salute. That was a good call. Thank you guys for your support. Lord Stryker, I see you. Okay. Lord Stryker going hard in pain. What is this? Trannies what? Okay, I'm not reading that. That man's spending Skrilla. Hold on a second. Dana sent me. Hey, Dana, you want to tap in, promote your platform? What is this? Dana sent me here. Something about the father of a Texas teen accused of fatally stabbing a football star. Wait a minute. Is this? What is this here, Dana? Okay. Well, here it is. Okay, Dana, that article that you sent me is from April the 3rd. Is there some type of update? Yeah. I'm calling Cap. I'm saying the white boy, as I've known white boys when I grew up, they're aggressive, They're aggressive. What are you doing over here? Get out of here, or else. Area code 443. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. Are you there? 443.
I'm here, my man.
Yes, sir.
I'm here, my man. How you feel?
I'm good, sir.
Hey, man. I'm glad you took my call, and I want to say that I'm 45 years old.
Okay.
And a lot of times people be speaking, but we don't use logic or common sense. And what I mean by that is we could talk about the first topic, which is the guy Karmelo Anthony.
Go ahead.
He killed somebody.
Come on.
He killed somebody, and he's basically where he's supposed to be at.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is this. I'm 45.
Okay.
I've had a million fights growing up. But one thing I know is I'm not going to go around stabbing the people. I fought 2 people at a time, 3 people at a time, but I knew for a fact if I killed somebody, what would happen? And the reason why I knew that is because I was raised by good parents. So if you're going to blame anybody, blame his parents. You can't be that afraid of a fight that you got to pull out a knife. We called that punks back in the day. That's punk behavior. These kids are scared of an A-whipping and they got to pull a weapon. If it wasn't going to be a knife, it'd be no different from these Ryans pulling Polymer 80s, shooting each other because they're scared to fight. So just because he's an African-American, I'm not going to justify him killing somebody over a fight. No. And then the guy going to say, oh, well, he was defending himself. Man, I fought so many people. I ain't never killed him. I took my whooping. And I lived to see another day. And if I caught him slipping, I'd get him another day. But I'm not going to kill the guy because I knew I was going to go to jail.
Okay.
So since he did that, he got to take what comes with it. And when they say he deserves the bail, I don't think he deserves the bail. He ain't get no bail. He ain't kill nobody. So why he get a bail? If I kill somebody, I don't get no bail. So what makes him? Oh, he was the captain of the football team. I don't care about none of that. He ran a whole music label. All he did was have sexual capades, and he didn't get no bail. So why this kid get a bail because he was on a football team or a track team? No, he don't get no bail, man. He killed somebody, and this will come with it. You want to blame anybody? Blame his parents or blame the police officers who charged him with murder because they didn't charge that guy for killing the little boy with the Skittles for murder.
Okay.
But they charged him. So blame the police officers because they the ones who charged him. So if you want to start somewhere, start with the police officers who gave him that charge because if they felt like it was self-defense, they wouldn't have charged him with murder. That's the first and foremost thing. And then I went.
Can I jump in?
Going out of state.
Can I jump in?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
And you said you're how old? I'm not trying to say you're wrong.
I'm 45 years old.
45. And were you raised around, Caucasians for the most part, or inner city blacks? Where were you raised?
I was raised in Baltimore since I was the age of 7.
Bmore, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
I've been in a million.
Okay, hang on. If I can just if I can just respond, and I'll let you land your plane. So you've been in situations where you knew there were certain guidelines and or parameters. Bmore, people been getting their wigs pushed back out there for decades. Niggas dying over a pork fried rice and chicken wings. Yes.
I knew the consequences.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's just like he.
Okay, now hang on. I want to lay something out here. Pause, and then you can chime in. Just because you had a bunch of fights doesn't necessarily mean that if you had a weapon in your hand that you wouldn't use it. Did you ever have to put a blicky, a ooh-wop, or a blammer in your hand, or did you just always put up your fist?
I'm glad you asked that question. I have a license to carry, and I got every firearm known to man, and I still have to think for myself because at the end of the day, I can't just go creating problems. First of all, I know how to diffuse the situation. Now, if I got banked by a couple guys,
hang on a second, sir. No.
Okay,
you have a firearm now, and you may have had it. Pardon me. Going back a decade or more, I don't know, but I'm talking about your formative years when you didn't have that permit to carry, right?
I've had knives. I've had knives since my grandfather gave me knives.
Okay. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. We're just having a conversation. I appreciate your call. But now, sometimes you can be in the heat of the moment and the walls are closed. Let me just finish my point, please. Let me finish my point. You can be in the heat of the moment. The walls are closing in. You got to make a split-second decision. It's either me or him or her. So you've got a firearm now, and you're thinking that you're not gonna. Well, you've already said you have to think. You have to use good judgment. I hear you. But now, if you were younger and you had that firearm and they were coming down on you, would you be the type of person to squeeze it, or would you just say, "Nah, I'm not going to do that"?
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked that question. I would say this. They said the young boy said, "If you hit me one more time," or something. I'm sure instead of him even saying that, if he would have just showed the knife, and if they still touched him, then use it. Because they knew he had the knife. And I'm sure if they seen the knife, they wouldn't even hit him again. So instead of him saying, "Do it again or else," show the knife. They would have ran. They were like, "Oh, he crazy."
Sir.
How many people go out attack the person that pull a knife out?
Sir. I hear you claiming Bmore, but you already know, sir, you can't be pump faking with a knife or pump faking with a gun. If you pull it out, whoever sees you pull it out, there's a good chance they're going to take it from you and use it on you. But I'll land your plane. Go ahead. Land your plane.
Okay. Well, I'm going to land my plane, but I still wanted to talk about the Gale.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Yeah. Did they go to outer space?
Do you want me to just go to the outer space? You want me to go to the outer space stuff?
Okay, come on.
All right. Now, you said something, and I couldn't believe it. You said, "Oh, I believe they went to the moon."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, how do you, a man of knowledge, that you're a man of knowledge, correct? A man of common sense.
I don't know.
And you said you believe they went to the moon, but you don't even believe in God. So you telling me a man that don't believe in God believe they went to the moon?
To correct you, sir, I don't support the theory. You can't prove the existence of a God. Let's be respectful. You cannot prove it. So I do not support the theory.
No. I don't believe in Santa Claus either.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is this, right? What I'm saying is this. We all know that there's no such thing as outer space, right? Because if you do your research, everybody that does their research know about Operation Fishbowl when they created nuclear weapons to try to pierce, the dome. So why all of a sudden people think, oh, they went out of space and they had this technology that they could communicate? They didn't even have Wi-Fi back then. So how the hell are they talking to people on the moon? So then the technology. So how do we go to the moon? And we didn't even have power windows back then. Well, we're talking to people and then we leave the moon. How did we create a launch pad on a place that we never been before. So it's lack of common sense, and people believe, oh yeah, we went to the moon. We ain't never go to no moon. You can't even go out of space. So people entertaining this stuff, to me, as adults, is no different from people still believing in Santa Claus.
I'm listening to you speak, sir.
And that's basically just to me.
Well, can I respond?
Using their brain.
If you're done, can I
Sure.
respond? Okay, you said. Okay, hang on. You said there were no power windows back in 1969. To be precise, sir, power windows were in vehicles going back to the 40s. You can Google that yourself. 1941, if I'm not mistaken. There are reflectors on the moon. This you do know, since you've said you can research, right? There's reflectors on the moon.
So let me ask you a question.
No, sir, I asked you a question. Sir, please don't answer a question with a question. There are reflectors on the moon. Yes, you can Google it right now. Sir, please, I'm responding to what you said.
I'm a Google because I don't know what you're referring to.
Okay. Well, you said everybody. You said everybody knows.
I did.
Okay.
I did, and I stand on it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, sir. Listen, I'm a dropout. I'm nobody. Right. Who am I? Reflectors on the moon. So my question to you is, how did they get there?
Reflectors on the moon. It says 5 reflectors, also known as the Copernican reflectors, were left on the moon by Apollo 11, 14, and 15 by the Soviet Union's Lukadan 1 and 2, Lukadan 2 rovers. These reflectors are used for lunar laser ranging, a technology that precisely measures the distance between the Earth and the moon using laser beams. The reflectors also.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. You can finish up on your own. I believe that mankind went to the moon. Whether the USA got there first, that I'm not sure about, but I do believe at some point mankind got to the moon. Because if we, since you're saying just be logical, if we hadn't done it at some point, don't you think that Russia or China or somebody else would have done it and then taken the credit?
I'm going to say this, and if you're right, and we did go to the moon, I would say the only way that would be possible is if the moon is in our atmosphere. Okay. I don't believe the moon is in outer space. Okay. So if we did go, we never left this atmosphere, is what I'm saying. Okay. So if that's the case, yeah, then we went. But then I got other questions like, how did they go to the moon?
Sir, I can't do other questions right now. Right. I'm backed up, but
okay.
But I appreciate you calling in, man. I got to take other calls and stay in touch.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sir, I gotta get to the other
callers.
More question.
Just one more question. Just 5 seconds. 5-second question. 5-second question, right?
Sir, actually, the live chat said, can you send an email? I gotta take other calls, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I answered all questions. I'm a dropout. What do I know? Hold on a second. Is it Jesus Rivera? How is it self-defense when K.A. provoked the attack? Touch me and see what happens. It sounds like, he issued a warning. Don't touch me, white boy. I know how y'all get down. You're not going to put me in a full Nelson, put me in the sleeper, choke me out, and then I wake, and then I'm a world star. Back up off me. Hang on a second. Freedmen's Network, it got you donation. Okay, wait a minute. Are you responding to? Okay. Freedmen's Network is responding to Jesus Rivera. Karmelo Anthony did not provoke the situation. He gave a warning. There you go. Hold on a second. Okay. Tiffany says, I'm on the move with a few. Okay. Since it's back in the early 2000s, there were very few hairstylists who knew the fusion technique. Coming from Baltimore, where hairstyling rules, there was one salon who provided the service exclusively. Now there are more hair textures and units that serve a variety of clientele. But up until recently, fusions were mostly done at salons for Caucasian hair, and they paid top dollar, $10K and up. Oh, Jesus. The process can be compared to a glue stick melted into a glue gun to blend the extensions onto the real hair. Lord have mercy. Thank you. Let me just say thank you. Guys, if you're just now joining me, this is due to a video that I played earlier. I'm not going to play it again about the prices of these hair bundles, units, whatever you call it, lace fronts going up due to the tariffs. So it's about to be cracking down there in the Atlanta metro area. Fighting, shooting, bitches grabbing stuff and running out the store. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the homie Al from Little Haiti tapping in area code 786?
Hey, what's going on, Star? I wanted to touch on the topics.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from you, Al. Please.
Pleasure mine as well. I just wanted to talk about also how, pardon me, police is swinging the corner.
That's okay.
Hey. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, I wanted to talk about just the positioning that we need to focus on as far as with Karmelo Anthony, just to touch on both topics, but wanted to touch on that one first.
Go ahead.
You know, whenever there's a calamity within the Black household, we usually will see the mothers speak forward, you know, with the example of, what's her name, that made that false report on the child missing on the freeway?
Oh, yeah. Carly Russell? Carly Russell.
Yeah, Carly Russell. You know, the mother spoke forward, even though it was a scam, and didn't even hold herself or her daughter accountable.
Right.
We've seen with the example of Karmelo Anthony, his father stood up, spoke to his son's character, his position, not only with his siblings, but also with his school and his classmates. You know, we have yet to hear about the character of, you know, the departed. You know, but, you know, and this is just a step forward towards, you know, the betterment of our community, just seeing how we need to stand close and unite with a just cause, not just because he's Black, but towards a just cause, you know. And so, and to touch on the other topic with the first female flight,
yeah,
I do believe it was an actual flight. I don't believe they went to space. I do believe they broke the stratosphere for the simple reason the fiance of Jeff Bezos,
right.
His fiance was once a pilot, and I know a goal of hers that she mentioned a while back was to go to space.
Okay.
You know, but as far as being in condition to go to space and experience that that actual viewpoint, I don't think their body was physically capable of making that journey in such a short time. You have to go through a rigorous training that has to be advised by not only the Air Force, but also NASA.
You have to be medically approved. Gail
You have to be medically cleared.
Gail King is,
and she's like 70 years old. She could barely run. She could barely run on the treadmill, and we want to say that she went to. I mean, but I understand propaganda, and I understand how this is a movement for feminism. And okay, if you need that, okay, go ahead. Here's the baton. Go ahead and run with it. But the position. But I want to touch on another note.
Okay.
I want to say this is a plus for the United States, and for the simple fact is that we're repositioning ourselves to be the leading front runner of a lot of these industrial positioning. With Donald Trump implementing Space Force, you know, taking on the position of demanding the United States be seen and respected as a front runner for that position, and aligning with Jeff Bezos and as well as Elon Musk. We have to understand as a nation, the last company to actually go to space on a domestic route was the CEO of Virginia Group. I think his name was Richard Branson. He had the spaceship Galactic that he was charging people $400,000 to go to space or break the stratosphere. So by us just repositioning ourselves back in the forefront of America and the world politics, I feel like this is a good move for America, you know?
Can I jump in, Al? I appreciate you. You're a very knowledgeable man. I think we are so far behind China. China, well over, I think, 15 years ago, started creating an artificial sun. You ever heard about that?
I did hear about that, and also, you know, China holds our debt. You know, China really do hold our debt, and
if I can just say this, China has made progress creating an artificial sun, a nuclear fusion reactor. So, you know, all of this, you know, going up into the you know, just the stratosphere supposedly is cute, man. But I'm just not buying it, man. I just had to say that. But go ahead and land your plane, please.
Oh, no, just wanted to speak on that and just love the show topic. Y'all have a good one.
I appreciate you, Al. Thank you. Yes, sir. Wow, how to install K-tips. Guys, I'm not going to focus on this too much, but damn. Okay, here's another Becoming Chanel. I hope I said your name right. Becoming Chanel. How to install K-tip hair extensions. Oh, wow, this is not a long video. Maybe I should play this again. Do you guys care about this? I'm just talking about the news out of the Atlanta metro area about the expectancy of these hair bundles and prices to go through the roof. Hundreds of dollars. They're going to be shooting. Somebody's going to go into a goddamn salon, order K-tips, and then shoot their way out of it. Area code 678. Are you there? 678. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Going, Star?
Hey, man, please watch the language. Are you from the Atlanta area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
K-tips. Have you ever heard of that whole process?
Nah, to be honest, I don't really pay attention what these chicks be putting in their head and all. If it look good, hey, I blow it back out.
Go ahead, sir. You were saying,
I don't
go
really
ahead.
care how they do it.
Where do you want to start?
Oh yeah, but you know, I just called the tune, basically chime in on the Karmelo Anthony story or whatever.
Bond reduced.
And yes, sir. Yeah, that's good news. And it's not about race, man. I would have felt the same way I feel about it, even if it was the opposite. It was two black guys jumping on a white boy and he defended himself like that. It's not about race when it comes to that. I need people to understand, once you put your hands on somebody, you have no control over the reaction you finna get. And especially from somebody who has been jumped before. I've been jumped before. And what people don't realize, dude, you can be killed in a horrendous, brutal way from a jumping, or have lifelong, you know, ailments from that. I almost lost my eye when I got jumped. You know what I'm saying? I suffered a fractured orbital. Woke up in Grady looking crazy. with a tube in my urethra. Damn. You know, because they went to sleep. Yeah, man, like that. They didn't put me in a coma or nothing. I mean, some of it was my fault. I was doing too much.
Right.
Getting fly and jiggy at the club in Riverdale, because I'm from Clayco.
Okay.
I'm from Collin County, so yeah. I was at the club in Riverdale.
Okay. Homer Sierra and Waka Flocka, right? Riverdale?
Yes, sir. Waka Flocka, yep.
I was at that high school when what's his name? The quarterback went down there for the
Kaepernick. When Kaepernick had to work out at Riverdale High School, yep.
Well, yeah, but at first it was way up north in Atlanta somewhere, and he started acting like a diva because he only wanted, I think, his film crew filming. You remember that? So then he decides to leave,
I remember that.
And we drove all the way down to Riverdale. I got it on my IG page. I'm just rambling, but Riverdale, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you know, so yeah, I was doing too much, but you know, saying all that to say, you can get very seriously hurt from a jumping, and especially with y'all saying that the guy Karmelo like way smaller than these guys, and then it's two of them. Man, come on! What did you expect the boy to do? And like on the point that he was the captain, he's the captain of the track team, captain of the football team. I mean, he could be a good kid, but you just, like I said, you just never know what reaction you're gonna get out of somebody. I got a cousin who graduated in 2021. He was a outstanding football player and baseball player.
Okay.
And he won the Atlanta Journal-Constitution all-around athlete student of the year for his class. And I'll bring that up only to say he got into a fight after he graduated with one of his baseball buddies and ended up hitting the boy in the head with a bat. And he's a good kid. So saying all that to say, once you jump on somebody, you don't know how they're going to react. It might not even be intentional. He didn't want to hurt his friends. He's still friend with the dude to this day.
Yeah.
But just when you put your hands on somebody, man, you know, you just don't know how they're going to react. And they can react. I mean, I'm not saying sometimes people do go overboard, but in this situation, I don't think he went overboard because these were two bigger guys, you know, and you don't know what this dude then went through because I know anybody trying to play with me, 2-3 guys come on to me, it's going to be a problem. I'm not even going to play with.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not trying to clown you, but you say you've been jumped a few times.
No, just once, once.
Okay. So they beat you senseless, or they beat you down and then just walked off. How did that end? I've never been jumped. How'd that end?
Well, I was drunk. So I don't remember a lot of it. But
they cut you some slack. If you were drunk, they'd cut you some slack.
Yeah. But from the third person view, because my the guy that my mother was dating at the time, he went up there the next day to talk to the security guards because I got to fighting with the security guards too.
Okay.
You know, I blacked out, you know, and was fighting the security guards, I guess, when they was trying to break it up. So I was fighting. You know, I do remember walking out on my feet, and then the security pushed me down and put me in handcuffs, which I don't understand. I guess, and then I heard him say, you know, he caught me in the mouth good. So I guess I started fighting the security guards too. So I was fighting back. And that's why I'm not too mad because I just didn't get super packed out. I was fighting back and I walked out on my 2 feet. So, but yeah, they caught me slipping, you know, so it is what it is, man. But yeah, I don't think that young boy should do no whole bunch of gang of time or anything. At the most, worst case scenario, involuntary manslaughter, man.
Yeah.
At the worst case.
Time served. Give him an ankle monitor for 3 years. Time served.
Right.
Come on.
Right. He's not a take care or nothing. So I don't think his life should be ruined from this.
Take care. You mean take care? Take care.
Yeah, take care. Yep. I don't think he's no take care. So I don't think that the young man's life should be ruined for this, man. So that's all I wanted to say, Star.
I appreciate
I land my plane there.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Salute. Okay. You guys know who Take K is in the live chat? Of course you do. But I ain't beat that case. Bitch, I did the race. Hold on a second. Hey, Vera, thank you for your donation. Oh, you're very welcome. You see, folks, I respond when you send cash apps. If I don't remember during the show, I give you the thumbs up, you know. On the app, I go in and I give you the thumbs up. Hold on a second. Oh, here we got somebody else talking about the black community is lost. If it was a white guy who stabbed and killed a black guy, they would be in the streets marching and burning down cities. The boy took a life for no reason. That is murder. With all due respect, DC, you're on the coon train. You're on the coon train. Nobody condones the killing of the young man, Austin Metcalf. But with regards to what you've just said, if it was a white guy who stabbed and killed a black guy, black people would be in the streets marching? No, they weren't, sir. That has happened in this country for centuries. Hundreds of years, if you will. And black folk had to stay home and just eat it, take it on the chin, so to speak. Pause. They couldn't go outside and protest. Their sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, husbands, fathers would go into town to get some sugar and some goddamn pickles and get lynched. Lynched. But the situation was reversed. Choo-choo! You're on the coon train, nigga. What the fuck wrong with you? Hang on a second. Area code 917. Please leave the cursing to me. 917. Good afternoon. We're having a discussion.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Star. How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I want to just speak on I don't want to take too much of your time, but like Karmelo Anthony situation.
Please.
Yeah, so I agree with you when you were saying that, the last call, I'm sorry, he was saying that people who have been jumped, and I've been jumped before, so like I'm very iffy about people walking up on me.
Okay.
So like I can understand, I don't know if Karmelo been jumped, but like if I tell people don't touch me, and I'm very reactive, so like you said, the white boys could have been like, wrestling like you said, because I don't mean to go too far back, but you remember the Freaky London video with the big white boy who hemmed him up?
Sir, that's a monumental video, not a classic, a monumental video. And for those who don't know, Google Freaky London, was it Arizona? Where was he? He turned his hat backwards and he told the white boys, he said, suck my dick. Suck my dick. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said, I'm from Brooklyn. He said he was from Brooklyn. And he thought, yeah.
No. I thought he said New York because he's from the Bronx. I thought he said New York, but go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. New York. Like, I'm sorry.
New York.
But
suck my dick. Yeah.
Again, he let the white boy grab him. And you saw what happened afterwards. And he got humbled. You can't okay, I'm doing jiu-jitsu now at my older age, but a lot of these guys that come into the gym are white boys who wrestle. And they're very strong. You can't play with them white boys. Like, you gotta, so I think Karmelo issued a warning, and the white boys, so, like, you better listen to me, Blackie. Get out of here. Because they do talk like that. And he had to defend himself. And I think some of these, and I'm sorry, one more thing. The caller who said pump fake, that guy's crazy. You can't be pump faking when you bring out, a weapon.
Oh, my God.
I don't know where he's from, but if you pump fake anywhere else, it's over for you.
Stop right there. He was claiming be more, and I appreciate his call, but are you from the north or the south?
No, I'm from Brooklyn, East New York.
Okay. You cannot pump fake with a gun in the south. Who is it? Was it Rowdy Rebel? He was talking to somebody, and he said, with regards to the King Von shooting, why did they have to go to the guns? He could have pulled it out and backed them down. Not in the South. You're not pulling out a gun and backing niggas down. You pull out a gun in the South, other niggas are pulling out. Go ahead.
No. I think New Yorkers don't understand that. He don't understand that they go by a different. They go by a different set of rules down here. Like up here, you can do all that, but like even pump faking a knife out here is gonna get taken from you. So I don't know, man. You can't just be. I advise nobody to do pump fakes. But that's about it, Star. Thank you for your time, sir.
I appreciate the call. Thank you. Let me go to area code 704. Hey there, good afternoon. Please watch the language. We're talking about a few things. Karmelo Anthony's bond has been reduced. Are you there? 704.
I'm here, Star.
How are you, man?
I'm here, Star.
Yes, sir.
I'm good, my man.
Yes, sir.
All right. First, I wanted to start off by addressing the kid that called from D-Moore. He was poorly representing us, and he did not. His statements did not reflect the typical Baltimorean. Let's start off with that.
I let him speak. I let people speak, right? I let people speak.
In the future, when people claim Baltimore, you ask them what side of town they're from, because a lot of suburbans or outside county people like to claim the city, but
go ahead.
They're not quite Baltimoreans. But let's get to it. Starting with Karmelo. When I was, I'm 53 years old.
Okay.
Born and bred in the housing projects. When I was coming up, our elders used to tell us, when you perceive a threat and somebody attacks you, the main thing you want to do is neutralize that threat by ensuring that when you respond, they don't get up.
Right.
And they used to always say, if it goes too far and you get arrested, don't worry about it. I'll take it from there.
Right.
But you make sure they don't get up. So that's number one. So I think the kid responded properly because, as the other gentleman mentioned, if you didn't jump, you don't know how that's going to end. The moment you put your safety into your assailant's hand, you can't expect them to respect your life.
Right.
You can't expect them to stop just short of death.
Right.
You have to assume that they're going to take it as far as it can be taken.
Right.
And you have to make sure you neutralize that threat. So for the young man from Baltimore to be suggesting that the young man should have taken all of these extra steps before he did what he did is ridiculous.
If I can jump in a second, and I don't want to clown him. He said what he said, and I let him speak. So you're from my generation. You're a few years younger than me, yes?
Yes.
Okay. When I moved to New York in '81, my brother had tuned me up in the '70s in the suburbs so much to the point where I said, I will never go through nothing like that again. And not only would he give me speed knots, choke me out, the sleeper, and he was imitating Bruno Sammartino one week, Bruce Lee the next week, and then he was black belt Jones. But in our era, if somebody got the best of you, like my older brother, what did they do? They would go through your pockets to make sure you didn't have a weapon, right?
That's right.
He used to pull my pockets out. They used to call it bunny ears. And he used to say, you got a knife on you?
That's right. Because they expect you to respond aggressively.
They expect you to have a weapon. And sometimes he would even take off my shoes to make sure I didn't have nothing stuck in my socks. So
Fact.
It's different
Fact.
now. And again, we're not condoning what happened with Austin Metcalf, man. But in my opinion, he saw a threat. Good.
That's right. And we don't know to what level he perceived that threat.
Right.
Now, what I notice is a lot of times, not necessarily in our community, but for the broader audiences, whenever it's a white man that assaults and kills somebody, they always have the minimum threshold for threat perception.
Right.
Like, there doesn't have to be any real threat, but as long as they say they felt an imminent threat, then they're justified for lethal, a response.
Right.
So I think that this young man should have the same sort of consideration. We don't know in his mind what level of threat he perceived those two young men as being,
Yeah.
They may have had a reputation in the community to, do some, to do some destructive things. We don't know that.
Well,
so I think the fact that,
in my opinion, not to cut you off, I'm gonna let you land your plane. For Austin to even speak up, show that he had some type of confidence, or he was going to deal with this guy here. And the goddamn pouring rain. It was raining like hell. It's raining. Why do you feel the need to go over there? It's raining to kick somebody out of the goddamn tent. Go ahead and land your plane.
Right. Facts. Yeah. That's pretty much all I wanted to say on that. I think people need to really just think about, what the possibility of his perception of the level of threat was.
Right.
And that would determine whether or not his response was appropriate from his perspective.
Yeah.
But where I come from, if you step to me and there's more than one of y'all, you can expect whatever. I'm going to neutralize the threat.
There you go.
It is what it is.
Thank you for the call, sir.
But, yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Hold on a second. Let me bring in area code 313. Hey there. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. We're discussing Karmelo Anthony's bond. It has been reduced. Are you there?
I am. Good afternoon, Star.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, I just want to say with the Karmelo Anthony, I think he's exactly where he needs to be, unfortunately. It's sad for both families. I don't think the charge should be what it is. I think it should be like manslaughter. I honestly have no idea these days why individuals, young dudes, need to take weapons like knives and guns to a place that it is not even needed or required unless something else has been going on that nobody knows about. Whatever happened to fight and flight, there's always an opportunity to flight. I mean, I'm 50 years old. I grew up in Queens. I was a block away from 40 Project. So we all been in fights. And I went to Springfield Gardens High School back in the days where people would ride the bus with razors in their mouth. But there's all sorts of type of people. And it's unfortunate the situation is what it is. But I truly think that he needs to be where he's at right now. And I hope everything works out the way it should work out.
Okay, you're 50. You're from Queens. Yeah, I mean, he should have been arrested. Absolutely. When you say he's where he should be, do you mean he should not have bond, or what are you getting to?
Well, he should have bond, and that's just the way I think he's right where he needs to be.
I hear you, but it just, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you're a little, over the top, like, yeah, he's a little savage and he's right there where he belongs. I mean, well, we have this thing called due process, yes?
Correct.
Yeah. So explain to us, because I don't want to put words in your mouth. When you say he's right where he should he be bonded out? Should he do 10 years, 20 years? What are you saying?
Well, he committed a crime. When you commit a crime, you do go through due process, but you go to jail. And that's what I'm saying. He's in jail. So that's where he should be right now until we get everything all sorted out. Bond, if he gets bond, that's great. But I'm not saying it like that's where he needs to be. I'm
just
that's
asking.
Truly not my intention.
I was just asking.
No, that's truly not my intention. You know what I'm saying? When you commit a crime, there's due process, and you go to jail. If you're in jail and that's where you're at, that's where you need to be. If you get a bond, you're at home with a device, then that's where you need to be. That's pretty much all I'm saying with that.
Stay with. I appreciate it, Cole. Stay with me. You're 50 years old. You lived near 40 Projects, you say, the home of Grandmaster Vic, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And what school did you go to? Did you go to a public school, private school?
I went to a public school, Springfield Gardens High School.
Springfield Gardens. What was the other school out there? It was pretty rough.
Well, it's Hillcrest. We have Jamaica High School.
Well, that's up by Jamaica.
August Martin.
August Martin. Woo!
Uh-huh.
Whoa!
Yes.
Huh? August Martin. So now, you say you never had to carry a weapon.
Correct.
I think that's cap, with all due respect, because you got the goons.
No, I've never carried a weapon.
Hang on. You got the goons out there from Hollis. Was it Rosedale? Is it Rosedale or?
It's Rosedale's Laurelton.
Laurelton. They used to call them NFL niggas from Laurelton, right? And you're also in between, as I said, Hollis, and it's a pretty rough area, man. You never carried any weapon. You just,
Correct. And with all the places you named in the area that I lived in, why would it surprise you that I didn't have to? I didn't need to.
I'm not implying that you're soft. But I'm just saying, those.
No, I don't take it that way. I'm just saying that there's people that lived among and didn't carry any weapons. They fought. They got into fist fight.
With all due respect,
but no,
with all due respect, were you robbed up on Jamaica Ave?
No.
Okay.
No. People like me.
What time what was your curfew? You had a curfew.
Well, I had a 2-family household, so I lived in a 2-family household.
Sir, what time
I came in when the lights came on.
Oh, okay.
When the lights came on.
Right. So you were inside by 7 p.m.
No, inside by 9, 10.
Right.
And even still, the people who came in by 6 o'clock, there were some people that carried knives and guns. And there was
never went to Jamaica Roller Dome, and what was that other one out there? Lacey's or something like that. What was that skating rink called out there? I forget.
I don't remember skating rink. It was one in the Bronx.
Well, no, that was Skate Key in the Bronx. You didn't go up there because they'd have ran down on you. But you never went to Jamaica Roller Dome?
I actually have, and I went there every other weekend to learn how to skate.
Okay.
So now that I'm in Atlanta, I can skate very well.
Okay. You didn't go to Jamaica Roller Dome at night. You went in the afternoon when it was safe, right?
I never even heard of Jamaica Roller Dome.
You just said you went there.
The one in the Bronx.
No, sir. We're talking about Queens, Jamaica.
Right. I never went to a roller skating ring in Queens. I went to the.
It was on Jamaica Ave. That's why they called it Jamaica Roller. Okay. Well, anyway, hey man, I appreciate.
Never been there. Okay. Let's move on.
I used to go there, man. Shit was lit. Okay, hey man, I appreciate your insight. But you say he's right where he. Did you say should be or belongs? I want to be clear.
Well, he's right where he needs to be at this point.
Okay. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We're just having a conversation, you know. I know all those grimy places in Queens. I used to go to them. Anybody from my era, Jamaica Roller Dome? Oh, that shit was lit, huh? Wow. Hey, Penelope, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay, here's another video. I'm not going to play this one now. This has to do with hazing. Some man who lost his sight. Holy shit. I'll come back to that. Good God almighty. Okay, someone sent me a donation. Thank you so much. I will respond. I want to make sure I got the right one. Hold on. We need a hate-a-thon this year. You are one of the greatest on YouTube. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I'll just say Stephen. I'm not going to say your last name. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Guys, there's one of my sponsors on the screen right there. That's a great book, The Anatomy of a Corporate Lynching. And salute to Kid. Kid sent it a donation. Kid said to me, Star, you said Charles Ford would pull up. You're a liar and a nigger. Well, Kid, have you purchased the book? Charles Ford and I have been in contact. He's got a busy schedule. But he will call in when he gets time. I thank you for your donation. Fleet, I got your donation. Hold on a second. Fleet says whites still don't feel like we should defend ourselves from them. The entitlement is insane. Okay. Is it Carisha? Hey, Carisha. Which Carisha is that? Guys, what is Miami, young Miami's name? Is her name Carisha? Kid, I got your other cash up. Thank you. He says, yes, I did purchase the book. But anyway, thank you for your donation, darling. You appreciate it. Okay. Let's go to area code 713. Good afternoon. Please watch the language. Leave all the cursing to me. Are you there? 713?
Yes, sorry. How's it going? This is Kay calling from Switzerland.
Hey, man. Good to hear from you. Where do you want to start?
I wanted to talk about the Karmelo Anthony case.
Yes. You're calling from Switzerland, so it's news out there, or you're just chiming in?
No, it's news out here. It's international news, but I stay up to date on YouTube.
Okay. You have the floor. Go ahead.
So, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I was born in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
So, I understand these situations, and being from the suburbs, you have to tread lightly whenever you're dealing with people such as these guys. So, what I wanted to call about.
Hello? His call dropped out. Sir, do you want to call back? Let me write down his area code. What did he say he was calling from? Switzerland? He had a 713 area code. Sir, if you can call back, I'll get you on the line. Area code 469. Thank you for your patience. Are you there? 469 on a Monday afternoon. Give him a second. 469. Yes, no, maybe. Pick it up. 469. You've been on hold for a while. I don't want to hang up, but okay. I'll give them a chance to pick up. And I will keep looking for area code 713 in the meantime. Fleet, I got your donation. Thank you very much. Hey, Patrice. I got your donation as well. Thank you so much. 469, I have to go. Sorry, I have to go. Let me go to area code 678. 678, are you there? 678.
What's up, Star?
Hey, how are you, man? It's cracking.
Yeah, I just want to touch up on Karmelo Anthony.
Can you make
Karmelo
the
Anthony.
adjustments on your speakerphone?
Yeah, it's good now. You can hear me?
It's a little better. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to say with Karmelo Anthony, I can relate to him, and I hope that he do get free, because the thing is, millions of brothers like him going through it as we speak. Millions of brothers throughout the nation is going through it, going through what he's going through as we speak, man. Because me, my first racism, my first piece of racism being a victim of a potential hate crime happened to me when I was a freshman in high school in Downey, Georgia. And it was unexpected. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little nervous. It was unexpected.
Okay.
I was shocked, because it just wasn't, my parents didn't prepare me for this.
Right.
Nobody in my family prepared me. Once we move into a new environment, you just gotta be prepared to what you're dealing with. I was living in Georgia. I was dealing with N-words. I was dealing with ninjas in Stone Mountain.
Okay.
And I moved down to Henry County.
Okay.
When I moved down to Henry County, I was dealing with them. I was dealing with them white dudes. I wanted to say the C word badly, but but I was dealing with them.
Okay.
So I know how he feels. I know what he's going through, and he did what he's supposed to do as a man. Because you got these callers calling up here talking about he should be right where he at. He shouldn't do that. Got call from Baltimore talking about some. He basically talking about some. We all the same stuff. Like, he should have never did that. Sound like a little Sambo, like a little, like a little.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't want you to take shots at other callers. I let people speak. That's the beauty of the Star Report. I don't have to necessarily agree, but I let them speak. So how old are you?
I understand.
How old are you? Can I ask?
I'm currently 33.
Okay.
Scotty Pimpin.
Okay. So you've been in a situation similar to Karmelo Anthony's?
Yeah, I'll say I basically would say I was a victim of a potential hate crime more than one time, from Georgia up to Jersey.
Okay.
Trust me, man. Cause what they like to do, they like to catch you when you isolated, when you by yourself. When they don't see no black people around, they just see you. That's what they'll do. And that's why I feel like that's how that situation happened. Okay. They seen him by himself. He was isolated, so they figure, hey, I don't see no black people around.
They tried him.
He's
They tried him.
Exactly. They preyed on him. And a lot of people do that to this day. They'll catch you isolated, and they'll catch you by yourself. And then they feel like they can get one up on you. They already thinking alike now. Let's get on this dude. Because I ain't just from white people I get that from. I get that from Hispanics too.
Right.
Especially living out here in Jersey. So I trust me, I've been through it. I'm still going through it, to this day, bumping heads with most of Latinos out here in Jersey, more than white people, but I'm not counting white people out. So these callers, these black callers.
Have you ever been in a situation where you had to discharge a firearm at someone?
No, but it was a situation where I was doing security at a predominantly Spanish bar in Perth Amboy, and some Spanish dude, he was drunk, tried to go in my pockets. I wasn't going for it.
He tried you.
He tried you. Yeah, he sized me, and he had a dark Dominican dude with him. I called him outside, ready to get it on with him again. He called me the N-word with an ER at the end and a monkey. Dark Dominican dude standing by him. He ain't even do nothing. He ain't even check him. So instead, he grab a plastic broomstick and try to attack me with it. And then I took that junk from him. Yeah, I took it from him, threw it away. Then me and the dude that called me the N-word got to scrapping. He's throwing punches, and he didn't want to fight no more. So.
And you're 30. You're 30 what? You're 30 what?
I'm 33. So this happened.
Hang on. Let's just take it a little slower here. Have you ever had a firearm in your hands? Out on the Ave, the town at night.
Unfortunately, I didn't. I just always have a box cutter with me, or
I'm not asking to snitch. I'm just asking you because you're a very young man, and you said you've been through some things. I'm really trying to say, avoid that, man. Avoid getting a firearm in your hands. And a situation occurs, and then you discharge it. Whew.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could have one of those things, though, man.
No. If you have one, get a permit to carry. If you have one and it's not legal and you discharge it, there's hell to pay. It's hell to pay.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
And the feeling itself when you discharge it, it can be a refreshing feeling. It's almost like someone getting their cherry popped, and then you shake it off and you say, "Oh shit, I can do that again."
Yeah, true. It's crazy. I'm planning on moving back.
I'm wilding. So I'm wilding. Scratch that. Disregard what I just said. Go ahead, land your plane. Go ahead.
Now, I just want to say, for people that's going through it like Karmelo, just keep your guard up, and like Star said, just, try to avoid the situation.
Yeah, man.
Just try to, and if it comes down to it, just keep the distance from them. Just keep a good distance from them, enough room so you can get a quick jab on them, a stiff jab on them, and, just keep backing up. Like, just pivot back, but move around. Just all you want to create distance.
Okay.
Just want to create some distance so you can have time, to throw your punches.
I appreciate the call, sir.
All right.
Thank you. I see two people who I do want to speak to. Hold on. Colleen, how are you? Wait a minute. Oh, did she drop out? Colleen, I picked up and your call dropped out. I moved too slow. Is that Aaron? Area code 202 tapping in on a Monday. Aaron?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm alive, man. Yeah, niggas are dying. Here I am alive.
I wanted to talk to the last guy. It sucked that he got off.
No, come on. He's not on the line, man. He's a young guy. Just give me your perspective without, talk to somebody else. Come on.
The law is, like I said, the law is going to determine what's going to happen. I mean, the law is not infallible, but if somebody's dead, you're going to go through the system, regardless of whether you're defending yourself or not. You know what I mean? Self-defense is not something that's assumed. It's something that has to be determined. Based upon the story, I felt like he was defending himself, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out soon. So we're going to find out if this is self-defense or but I think you have to walk away. I mean, giving it a second look, I mean, I think that he wishes he probably would have walked away from this situation. It's not good to sit in prison. You know what I mean? So, but
technically, he's not in prison. He was in the county, some type of detention center. Prison is a whole nother ball game. But so I'm sure in his mind he's saying, "Wow, I should have done this. I should have done that." I mean, hell, I've been in situations where I said, "Oh God, I should have left. I shouldn't have took that double shot and did that line of blow. I should have took my dumb ass home." But shit happens. Have you yourself, Aaron, ever been in a situation where you had to make a split-second decision?
Yeah, I mean, there's times I think I'd had to run. There's times, no. I mean, now, as you get older, you just move yourself away from those type of situations.
Right.
I mean, I think that, as he's 17, at 17, and I've been in those situations, yeah. But now, no, I don't. I think what trouble looks like, what it sounds like, and I think most of the time you're able to get those spider senses to avoid it or get away from it.
Have you yourself ever been jumped, or have you yourself ever had a weapon in your hand to the point where you had to use it? You've called in before.
I've been jumped, but I don't think I've ever used a weapon on somebody. No, I don't think I've ever used a weapon. No. But I have been jumped before. So
how many times have you been jumped? How many times?
Once. One time, yeah.
How they catch you?
So.
Can we walk through this? Now, were they black? Were they black or Caucasian?
Of course they were. Who else? I mean, come on, man.
Come on, walk us through.
He wasn't down for a fight, just like in this situation, he wasn't down for a fight. So yeah, of course. I think I was.
Walk us through it.
Yeah, so where I went to college, the people there would jump people all the time that were the people from the area would jump people from the college all the time. You were not getting a fair fight.
Okay.
And I think I was like coming out of a house party one time, and I was fighting one person. And then after that, I just got jumped. I mean, I just got jumped after fighting one smaller guy with dreads. I mean, then after that, I just got like 3 or 4 people came, and then I didn't hit the ground or anything like that, but I had to run away. So yeah.
You lived to fight another day. You ran. You said, "I'm out of here."
Always.
Yeah.
Always. I'm not Superman. So definitely not Superman.
So you and I have spoken about Karmelo Anthony. I'm not necessarily taking his side, but I'm not going hard in the paint against him either. I want the truth to come out, but I'm leaning towards the reality that young Caucasian males, who have that sense of entitlement and that air of arrogance, they want to prove to themselves and to their friends and especially to other little white girls, I'm going to handle this situation. You guys step back. You ever go through that with a white guys growing up?
I've had a fight with a white person, but I've never had white people jump me. And to be honest, my response to that is, why haven't they solved it? If that's the assertion, or if that's the claim that's being made, it hasn't been solved.
Well, no,
because
that's just me. I'm just thinking out loud. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been through some situations, man, where
their grandparents solved it. Their grandparents and their great grandparents absolutely solved issues with black criminality. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the younger ones have not solved. I think that they are going to solve it. I think that Generation Z. I think right now white boomers, are allowing these type of things to happen. But I think that Generation Z will be at a breaking point. White boomers, I think, are very tolerant. But Generation Z, I think it'll have a horseshoe effect.
You're biracial like myself, but you look more Caucasian. Have you ever been like wrestled down by some white guy and he put you in a sleeper?
I did wrestle.
Ooh.
I wrestled. Yeah, I wrestled at 140. So I was a wrestler. Yeah. They're very good wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
So them, Iranians, and now these people from Dagestan. So I did wrestle. Tore my rotator cuff or whatnot. So that's a great observation.
You were a wrestler, and the average black guy. Let's keep it real. I'm being racist. The average black guy, if you grab him and he's in your weight class, you're gonna finish him more than likely, no matter how much punching he does. Pulling up his pants, act like he's gonna get it in with you. You're gonna put him down and choke him the fuck out, right or wrong?
Yeah, technique wise, yes. But black people are strong. Like black people are no. I get and black people are very athletic.
Wow.
So like I get what you're saying. There are great wrestlers now. My favorite wrestler now actually is Mixed, the dude that lost a couple weeks ago. But Jordan Burroughs was black. And he was a very good wrestler. It's not necessarily the fact that black people cannot wrestle. It's the fact that there's not a lot of money in wrestling.
Right.
This is the same thing with track and field. If wrestlers were able...
And baseball. But hang on. I just want to ask you this, and I'll let you land your...
Oh, yeah. No. I'm getting... Yeah, if you don't have no technique, your ass is mine.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I haven't wrestled for 16 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're cooked.
If they don't have no technique, their ass is yours. That's a whole fact. Do you think that Karmelo Anthony had no technique? He's a little frail nigga.
No.
And hang on. He's captain of the track and field and the football team. Not that this makes it right, but he said, "Hey, you know what? I can't let this white boy grab me. I can't let him grab me." Ow.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. There's that, but also there comes a point in time. It doesn't matter if you wrestle or do UFC, where weight matters amongst everything. So, like, if somebody's 30 pounds more than me, it doesn't matter how good of a wrestler you are. This is just like UFC stuff, and that is some white boy stuff, right? Well, I'm in the UFC, and I know this. If somebody weighs 30 pounds more, like I remember Chael's son and said he could smack Ray Lewis. No, you cannot. Right. Ray Lewis would physically annihilate you. And like there's a white guy on podcasts everywhere telling people I'm 260 and all that. Weight matters, right? Weight does matter, and height matters, and all these things do matter to a certain extent for certain people. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. I get the angle that you're taking with this from a more humorous. You're taking it from a more humorous angle. But I personally think black people, if wrestling was a priority, they would be very good. I've seen a lot of black wrestlers, and now there's more of them getting into it that are very good. So. And Ray Lewis, I mentioned Ray Lewis, but he did used to wrestle at one point in time. But
Aaron, I got to take other calls. I gave you enough time.
Okay, I got
you. Good? No, I gave you time.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good, man. You have a good day.
Thank you for tapping in.
Bye.
Okay. It's Aaron tapping in. Guys, I want you to speak and speak freely. We don't have to agree. Thank you for your donation, Miss Magic. Hey, darling, she says, salute to Karmelo for not going out like a sucker. Okay. Evelyn, I thank you for your patience. Hey, Evelyn, how are you? Good afternoon, good evening. What's going on, Evelyn?
How you doing, sir? How you doing? One of my homegirls called me and told me that you were on in the afternoon.
Yes.
And I told me what the topic was about. You know I had to call in.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Karmelo Anthony's bond has been reduced to $250K. I played the video earlier.
I hope that his parents can get him out. If he has anything to where they need a donation, I will be donating to try to help him, get on out of there, because he is a young man. I hope that even if it's, he's in jail, not prison, but I hope that it's some older black men that's there in jail, at least trying to help him out, to keep away from if he's not in a juvenile facility. You know what I'm saying?
More than likely, he's in an adult facility. Go ahead.
Well, I hope that it's some black men there that do have a heart, for the young man. But I called to say this. First of all, let me get on this last caller that just called. Generation X, they're not gonna it's gonna be too much race mixing. Okay, it's already happening right now, so he could forget it about what he's talking about.
Well, no,
all these kids now.
I like for people to land their plane. You talking about Aaron, who just called?
Yes. Okay. It's too much race mixing. Let me tell you how I know. My own kids are married up. I have two sons out of the four that I have. Two of them one of them is married up, and one of them just have children with, but they are together with a different race than they are. They are black. They have a different race, children. So they have race mixing. They're not even in X. So if we go all the way down to X, it's the world of the United States is going to be all mixed up. And that's what the United States hates, doesn't want, because it's the browning of America. Yeah. They don't want that, but it's too late. It's too late. And they're not going to have the power structure that they used to have. Right. So what he's talking about, he can forget all of that, because it's going to be, everybody is going to be too mixed up and in families all together.
Well, hang on a second, Evelyn. I appreciate what you said and where you're going. But yes, in 75 years from now, if not sooner, data has shown that the United States of America will be browner, as you say. But we are at a time right now where, in my opinion, based upon my research and data, Caucasians are concerned with something called white genetic survival. And people,
I agree.
Yeah, people seem to think that racism, it's over. It's no, it's not. I'm trying not to curse. It's alive and well. And I just wanted to say that. Because you were saying that.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's still very much alive and well. And then let me ask you this, Star. Everybody is saying this and that about Karmelo Anthony and his family. But do you notice that the white kids' parents haven't been on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, anywhere saying how good their sons were, this, that, and the other? You know that if they have this stellar record that they claim to have had, the parents would be on there, the mother, the father, the sister, the brother, the auntie, everybody on there crying. They know something about their sons that they don't want other people to know. Everybody that has kids, Star, I know all my kids. Do you hear what I say?
I'm listening.
I know which ones is gonna do what. I know what's gonna go down. Okay? I know if they're lying to me, because like I told them, I don't give a damn who you lie to.
Right.
Don't lie to me.
Right.
You understand me? If you did something, you let me know that you done it. They know what they got going on. They know how their kids were at school and other places, okay? And all that's going to come into play in the trial, I hope, if the other parents can get a good lawyer and an investigator to investigate and see what's really going on with their family. Because they sure are sitting over there mighty quiet. Because if it was me, me and my husband would be out there telling them all about our twins.
Okay.
I find that mighty suspect right there.
Well,
since they were such these good 4.0 students and all of that.
If I can just say this, Evelyn, I don't fault the
Unabomber had a PhD.
Oh yeah. Wow, you took it there. Hold on a second now. I don't fault the parents for speaking up on behalf of their children. I'm not going to, go down that path.
No, I'm not saying that.
If I can just say this, hold on a second. I'm glad that the bond has been reduced, and more than likely he will be able to bond out. There's a crowdfunding platform, not GoFundMe, something else. I forget the name of it. And, we want justice. We want justice. But go ahead and land your plane, Evelyn, unless you want to talk about Katy Perry and
I did want to talk about
and Gayle King.
I did want to
going
talk about
into space.
Oh, I wanted to talk about the hair.
Come on.
I believe that Gayle King and Katy Perry, I believe they went up in space and they broke the barrier and came right on back down. As far as going to the moon, no.
Okay.
They went up like Michael Strahan did, went up, came back down. But what I did want to talk to you about is the hair, because remember, I told you I was a cosmetologist for years on my own beauty shop.
Hold on. Stop right there. Guys, I'm talking to Evelyn. She's a supporter. I have to reset with regards to that topic for people who don't know what we're going to be talking about. So I played a video earlier with regards to beauty supply stores in the Atlanta metro area and how the tariffs more than likely will cause those bundles and all sorts of stuff and everything that goes with beauty supplies of, not just young black females, but females in general. Those prices are going to double, if you will. So then I was asking about these K-tips. I didn't know that stuff was so goddamn expensive. So I'm just, I'm thinking to myself, I said, damn, we about to see some fighting and shooting if those prices go up on all that stuff that's in those mainly Asian beauty salons that young black girls go to purchase. Am I crazy, Evelyn?
No, you are not. In 2013, Star.
Okay.
I did K-tips. I did all sorts of hair. I did black people hair, white people hair, Latino hair, all types of hair. White girls wanted K-tips back in the day. Now, black girls are getting them now. K-tips back then, I used to charge for a whole head of them in 2013, $1,000 to $1,500
per hour
for one head, half of the head, because most of them had hair at the top. The hair was sitting around the sides, so a half of a head would be $1,000 to $1,500 in 2013.
A half of
so
a head.
Right now,
a half of a head.
Yes, half of your head. Half of the head.
So how much was the entire K-tip job back in 2013?
Okay. If I was also cutting and styling the hair, it depended on what cut you wanted. And it depended on if you wanted it straight or if you wanted it curled. Or if I had to do some other type.
Evelyn, can you just give us a price, a total price for K-tips back in 2013?
Okay. My highest price I ever charged was $2,200.
Okay.
So if it was $2,200 in 2013, here we are years later. It's going to be some robbing and stealing.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Yeah. It's going to be some running out the beauty shop.
Well, let me
have to have the doors locked while people are getting their hair done.
Let me just say this. I am here for the bullshit. If those prices go up on the bundles, they call it a unit, right? The whole goddamn unit.
No, that's not a unit. This is strand by strand.
No.
You have to have.
Evelyn, I'm saying Evelyn, everything, the price of everything, the hair units, the lace front, all those prices are going up. That's what I'm talking about. Not just the K-tips.
Oh yes,
everything.
yes,
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Britney Spears. When they said she was crazy when she went to the beauty shop and she took a pair of clippers and cut all her hair off.
Yes.
The lady was doing her some K-tips then. That's what she was getting. And the woman was putting them in wrong. That's why she got mad and just shaved off all her hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evelyn, I have to take other calls. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for chiming in. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Someone sent in a donation. Hold on a second. Is it Al Newkirk? Breaking during the hearing, prosecutors reveal. I hope you're not talking about that video, Al, that's been circulating. That is not Karmelo Anthony, because there is a video that's been going around. Somebody sent it to me, and that's not Karmelo Anthony. Can you send me a link, sir, so I can see what you're talking about, the video that you're referring to? To my knowledge, that has been debunked, and that is not a real video. But thank you for your donation just the same. Guys, there's my email address on the screen. Okay, I think I can throw these notes away here. I threw a curveball to some of you FBA people earlier. I was asking if Karmelo Anthony was from Guyana. Hey, Patty, good to hear from you, darling. Thank you for your donation. Yeah, I didn't take a break. I'm still chopping this up here. I'm almost done, though. I'm coming up on the 3-hour mark. But this has been a very good research edition. Let me see if there's any other videos I was supposed to play here with regards to my research. Beauty supply. No. I think we'll wait till tomorrow with regards to predatory home buying in Atlanta. I got a bunch of videos with regards to Atlanta. As I said, I keep my eye on what's going on down there. It's really sad how much, I'll just say crime is going on within the black neighborhoods. Area code 440. Good afternoon. Are you there? 440.
Control pad allows
yes, no, maybe. 440. Pick up. Please don't kill the vibe. Are you ready? Okay. Gotta go. 440. Doing too much. Gotta keep it moving. Let me go to, I think this person is calling from overseas. Are you calling from France? On a Monday afternoon, evening?
Yeah, that's me.
Hey.
That's me. What's up, Star?
Hey, man, how are you, sir?
Good. I listen to your show all the time, and I felt like I had to call in tonight because what I'm hearing from a lot of these people is completely ridiculous. As far as the Karmelo Anthony situation, despite what happened, the guy killed somebody, right? So there's due process involved. Whether it was premeditated or bullying or whatever, to just stab someone and kill them is not normal. What kind of precedents are we setting, thinking that just because someone touched you, you can put a knife through their heart? We gotta, stop and think for a second. The lady that called earlier, I'm sure if this incident.
Well, which one, sir? Because we've had some very
the lady,
very knowledgeable women call in, and I appreciate them. Which one, sir?
The one you just got off the phone with,
Evelyn.
the one just before, Evelyn. Yeah, she was. Come on. If this had happened to her child, her tone would be different. Her tone would be different. And for me, it's interesting that the only reason why this incident is getting so much attention is because it's two teenagers from two different races. Yeah. This type of stuff.
Yes, sir. It's America. We are a racist nation. I love America, but let me go back for a second. Not that I have to defend Evelyn, but Evelyn is retired military, so she's seen bodies hit the floor, sir, to be precise. Okay, but now you're in France. You're from America. How'd you wind up in France? Were you on the run? What are you doing out there?
No. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights. But
sir, I got that police scanner. It says you're calling from France.
Yeah, but I'm from Brooklyn, though. I was born and raised.
But you're in
Brooklyn,
France.
New York.
You're in France right now?
Yeah. I live in Paris at the moment.
How'd you wind up out there? That was my question. How'd you wind up out there?
I'm married to a French girl.
Okay. So when is the last time you've been back to the States, or are you not coming back?
A year ago. Okay. And I'm coming back this summer. I come back every summer.
But you've got away. So you look down upon the blacks who are still here. Keep it real.
No, it's not about getting away. I mean,
Got him. Parlez-vous français and all that fly shit. Now hold on a second. So yes, man. We've got a situation here in France. I've never been to France. They deal with things different. They pull out the knives. People get stabbed. Just on a regular, right? On a regular.
Well, no, stuff happens like everywhere else, but not on the same scale. And the problem is,
sir, correct me if I'm wrong. We're just talking in France, England, and a lot of those places. Stabbing is like a common thing. Are they stabbing
in England? In England, it's a common thing. Yeah,
not in France. Okay,
no,
I stand corrected. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
So like I'm saying, I think, we got to teach these young men. They're overly emotional, and to a second of being overly emotional can cost your whole entire life. We gotta be a little bit more, strategic in the way we go about things. We can't just react off impulse. And, you have a lot of guys sitting in prison today because of, being overly sensitive and emotional. Just because someone touched you, you don't murder someone. I mean, come on. I mean, what type of world are we living in? So,
can I jump in, sir? With all due respect,
sure, no problem.
Are you a father?
Yes.
Were your children born here in the States or over there in France?
No, my daughter was born in Miami.
Okay.
So
did she make it out too? Is she in France like yourself?
Yeah, she's in France with me.
Okay, so she left, and you guys look back and you say, oh, they've got a situation back there that's never going to end, right? They're all out of control, right?
Well, I don't look at it from that perspective, but I think we got some major issues as a community. We're going about trying to overcome the wrong way, in my opinion. I feel like racism is the center of our existence. Race, I mean, come on.
In America, yes, it's all about race. Oh, it's all about race in America. But now, again, you've left, with all due respect. So when you say we,
yeah, I'm an American. Sorry, I mean, come on.
But you're in France. Do you have a France citizenship or a dual citizenship?
I have dual citizenship at this point.
So, okay, go land your plane.
Yeah, but I'm an American. All my family's still in America. Okay. I'm in America at least once a year. I mean, I chose to live in France because for my lifestyle, it's ideal. But I'm an American. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Is it fair to say you don't want to smoke with Whitey back home?
That's the thing, sir. I went to school with, when I was in Crown Heights, I was in predominantly black neighborhood, but in high school, I went out in the Rockaways, and they had all different types of people, and we got along. There was never any kind of smoke, or you know what I'm saying. So I don't even know where.
Can I ask how old you, sir? You said you left Crown Heights, aka Riot Heights, to go to school out there, over there by Beach Channel Drive.
Beach Channel, that's right. I went to
Beach Channel High School. Yeah, so you left Riot Heights because niggas been fighting and still fighting. Out
Wilding,
fighting up on Eastern Parkway, fighting with the small hats. You said nah. Exactly. You said nah. It's too much. I'm out of here. So you hightailed it right out to Beach Channel High. And somehow you wound up in France. You said, I'm out of here. This ain't what I want.
Yes. Yeah. So I didn't want to be around that. I mean, I went through it, but I wanted to see something new. So I went out in the Rockaways, and it was a good experience.
I have to ask you this one last question, sir, with all due respect.
Sure.
Are you a tether?
Say it again.
Are you a tether? Where's your family from? What Caribbean?
Jamaica.
Province.
Jamaica.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, man.
But growing up,
I appreciate the call, sir. But we fighting for this shit back home here. We fighting.
Got you.
Everybody dies, sir. Everybody dies. You feel me?
Got you, man. Got you.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Everybody dies, goddamn. Everybody dies. If I can't eat high up on the hall, goddamn, everybody dies. I die, you die, she dies, the kids die. Let's get to dying, goddamn. Hold on a second. Is it Trevision? Another white ass kissing tether. Okay. Hold on a second. Well, I mean, I appreciate that man's call, but come on, my nigga, you from out there where they had Derby's dose. You know, I mean, you had some revolts in Jamaica, but you know, we fighting for this back here, boy. Kath, I think we're pretty much done here. We're coming up. Oh wow, we've passed the 3-hour mark, and I didn't even take a goddamn intermission. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, John Blaze, why? So are you tapping in? Where's John Blaze? John Blaze. Let me make sure I didn't miss this man's call. John Blaze, is that you, sir? Area code 415.
My nigga.
John Blaze, good to hear from you, man. Where do you want to go?
Good to hear from you.
Yes,
you know, I wanted to go to the conversation about the young black man, the FBA. Is he FBA? I believe he's FBA.
To my knowledge, I was throwing people a curveball earlier saying I heard he was a Guyanese, but he's FBA.
Well, yeah, he's FBA, but I hear a lot of FBA callers, not all, but some are running a little scared. You know, as a parent of a young black child, you would probably, don't see the problem in protecting yourself. You know, I'm not sure if this is a stand your ground state, but when it deals with a young black man who is perhaps 17 years of age and trying to protect himself, to which, FBA should be defined as warriors, or somebody who would use something that's honorable as a knife to protect himself amongst two large white men. I don't see a problem with when you see a young black man minding his own goddamn business and he go ahead and look at his FBA roots, to which y'all call, to which he ain't running scared. He commits that sacrifice to which he will be martyred amongst the books of Nat Turner. I don't see the problem with sometimes when a black man got to protect himself and he'll go ahead and get to cutting and slicing when it comes to getting hands and feet put on him, to which he is about to die. What's the problem? No problem at all. It's the problem of the scared Negro. It's a scared Negro, man. You got a lot of niggas out here calling in scared, talking about the biblical context and the law and things of that nature, and running scared and swiveling at the mouth. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of real niggas out there in the South and East Coast and West Coast who actually said, I'm going to go ahead and take this L for my community and be placed on the walls of those martyrs, or like Hezbollah and a lot of these other Middle Eastern countries, to which they celebrate their martyrs. Where the martyrs at for our community? There's no more Nat Turners or the Stono rebellions, or talk to me about the Gabriel's conspiracy of 1800s. Bring that nigga in who's going to talk about the German coast uprising of 1811. We are talking about some real niggas out there who sacrificed their young bodies for the cause. Considering that John Blaze, I would think I'm a real nigga. I'm calling in, I would sacrifice my body and I'm cutting a nigga who's going to run up on me. Two of y'all putting head to feet all on my neck and body. Somebody going to die tonight, and I'm going to see in handcuffs. Yeah. I'm going, somebody going to die tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to go ahead and be scared to go ahead and put some cuffs on, see the judge and tell him, I killed him because I thought my life was in danger. Stand your ground, law, Texas. Somebody can correct me.
Can I just jump in real quick? John Blaze, according to my research here, in Texas, you have no duty to retreat. Go ahead.
I didn't know that. I'm not too familiar. I'm from over here in East Oakland. Yeah. Right now, I'm up in another area of the Bay Area, but I'm from Oakland. Yeah. I'm from California. But, if we get hands and feet put on us, sometimes somebody's body is going to get sacrificed, and we're going to send them to their white Jesus, to their worship. When they, like I said, I'm not going to hold you up, but it's the scared Negro that's been calling in for the past 3 days, and I've been listening. I was a spectator, sending my super chats, butting my nose in, but, this fifth or third day, just to hear these niggas to really call in scared, it was really disappointing for me because, I'm familiar with the Nat Turner's rebellion and these real niggas out there who really sacrifice their life and bodies and say, I don't give a goddamn about your life. You got two motherfucking, I'm sorry, forgive me, man.
It's okay. Go ahead and land your plane, man. You're good. I'm
gonna land my plane like this, man. Salute to the FDAs who will go ahead and sacrifice their well-being and their own bodies against the uncivilized So, John Blatham, I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, John.
Always saying, and peace to the guys.
I got your banner coming up right now. Thank you, John Blaze.
Peace.
Okay.